Hey, this is Sam Black with my second match with Miracles and Legacy. I have an okay hand here because I have a Brainstorm and a Fetch land, and Counterbalance and a Force of Will if I need it. I think this is fine. The plan here, of course, is to just hold the Fetch and hold the Brainstorm and play Counterbalance on turn 2, and then try to be able to use the Brainstorm as a counterspell at some point later on. To decide if I want to cast Counterbalance into 2 open mana. I don't see a strong reason to, really. I think I can just pass. If this is just some kind of control mirror, which doesn't seem terribly likely, then I can just sit here and play lands and... oh, well. That's a thing that beats just trying to hang out pretty badly. Alright. Okay, let's play not a fetch land and Counterbalance. That's fine. Alright, well now I have a Counterbalance in play. I don't know that that'll accomplish a lot, but it's there. Uncounterable show and tell. Well, let's try to brainstorm into something to do about this, I suppose. Although, see, I can't counter this. Yeah, I don't know that there's any upside to trying to find an answer before I know what my opponent's putting into play. I guess this is just fine. I can put a land into play. I suppose I will. Yeah, that's not good for me. The good news is I can theoretically counter them, but I cannot counter Emrakul. So now my only chance is to brainstorm into Terminus after this resolves. So I should use Counterbalance to see if there's a Terminus on top. And there's a Vendilion Click, which is not a Terminus. So this is going to enter play. And now I have to shuffle the Vendilion Click. And hope that there's randomly a Terminus on top now. I'll use the Counterbalance. Counterspell. Okay, I'm dead. Alright, I definitely want these, and this, and this. Probably these. And probably this thing, I think. That's got to be better than not having it. Let's see. Jace is a theoretical answer to Emrakul. Swords to Plowshares seems bad. I don't know what I'm trying to spell snare. I don't think it's very good. Second dig is likely slow. And Venser is great. Because I can put it in off a show and tell. So the other thing that I don't need is maybe one of the Flusterstorms. Maybe Entreat. Maybe Entreat's just too clunky. Do need to be able to win the game, but I think I'd rather do it with like a Monastery Mentor, and I think my real preference is just to do it with Vendilion Click and Venser, but maybe I should be playing Mentor. I should play Mentor because it's another 3 to top counterbalance and try to stop show and tell. My opponent won't always have Beseju. I'll play that over, I don't know, maybe the other dig. This hand, I guess Caracas is really good, and Venser is really good, and Blast is good. Alright, I'll keep. I suppose I'll lead with Island. Can't Red Blast something on turn 1, but I don't really imagine that I would want to. Alright. I think that's fine. Red Blast is a lot better now that, or well, a lot worse. A lot better to use now that Beseju didn't play. But I think I can just let that happen anyway. I don't think I want my opponent to know about Caracas. Oops. I meant to Vendilion Click end of turn there, but it's actually totally fine to wait. There's definitely an argument for playing Caracas to revive Vendilion Click, but I think it's better to keep it a secret for right now. Brainstorm with a fetch land might actually be worth blasting, but I'm not going to. I want my opponent to be making plays, so I want to let them set up, and then I can Vendilion Click in response to a show and tell, and it should be pretty great all around. Alright, fine. I've done nothing long enough. Dig. Alright. Dig not using Beseiju is pretty weird, but I guess my opponent feels like it's resolving either way and doesn't want to use the Beseiju. Doesn't want to pay the 2 life, specifically. Alright, what do you have? Yeah, I almost want to just take Probe. I'm gonna do that, oddly. Yeah. It's a weird line, but I'm into it. Alright. So I think I just take Cunning Wish here. Let Omniscience go into play and then bounce it with Fencer and hope that my opponent can't do anything impressive with the Omniscience. Sweet. Wonder if I'm supposed to have Terran for Omniscience. It's probably not bad. I think it's likely better than Terminus. Terminus is doing something useful, but it's doing something that's useful in a pretty redundant way. I don't really want a lot of them. Could also see cutting one for a dig. So many other ways to interact with what Terminus is doing. I think I'm going to do that. Again, everything could be wrong. And actually, Cavern of Souls seems pretty great with the way that I'm shifting my deck. I am going to cut the second planes for that. This is an interesting hand that I think I should keep. I'm on the draw. I have top and Brainstorm to try to find more lands and Force Will to interact. You may know. I'm just gonna draw my card. I'd rather use Sensei's Divining Top on my main phase after I've drawn to get to see one card further, rather than using it in my upkeep, where I'm more likely to miss a land drop because I didn't see the fourth card down. That's plenty of lands. Alright. I think I want to get one of them in play. So let's just go Island, Mesa, Island, draw, play an island, and pass the turn. Very aggressive. Alright, more than enough lands. I'm going to get rid of at least one of those. Maybe even just both of them. The rest of my cards aren't bad. Yeah, I'll just get rid of 2 extra lands. Playing top was maybe wrong. Maybe I was supposed to be able to just slam Priest here. Oh well. Alright, I will go for red. Worry about the Priest at a later date. I think I'm gonna try to click later. Maybe in response to a third show and tell if that's what my opponent's doing. And step works fine too. Dig. This is a spot where I'm actually interested in topping my upkeep, because I have a bit of mana to work with. What do you have? Show and tell, omniscience, and some card draw stuff. Well, given the number of show and tells you've already burned through, I think that's the angle that I want to fight. So let's just get rid of that and make you find it again. Oh, that's a Flusterstorm too. Good to pay attention to. Alright, sorcery speed card draw, Flusterstorm, omniscience. I like this a lot. Yep. 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 So now I get Containment Priest down, use top, and then I have Caracas Vendilion Click set up with Containment Priest, which makes it very difficult for my opponent to deal a win. And my opponent has very little time to do it. And I will... This is interesting. I think I don't want to spend time drawing and casting Counterbalance here. I think I just want to draw Force Will and have Counterbalance on top, so that I can draw it with top if I need to cast Force Will, and I can hold Caracas Vendilion Click mana up. It's fine. Yep. Trying to decide if there's any appreciable advantage or disadvantage to using Caracas on my Vendilion Click at the end of my opponent's turn. I don't really know how I can get rewarded or punished for it. I think it's harder to get punished. I think busting up my opponent's hand, or even just cycling my top, is better than doing nothing or spinning my other top. I guess I could just get countered. Maybe that's bad for me. That's probably bad. No, I can... Oh, but my opponent... Yeah, my opponent... Okay. So I could top into Counterbalance, and then force my opponent's force, but then my opponent can Flusterstorm my force. And that would be very bad. So I have to just let this go. And I think bouncing the Vendilion Click was bad. Now my opponent still has the Flusterstorm. I'll draw Counterbalance. I'll attack. And I think I'll just hold my mana up so that I can pay for a Flusterstorm when I force Counterbalance something. That'd be a reasonable thing to counter. I think I want to just let it happen. I think my opponent needs to find things that are too precise. I think I have better odds if I just let this happen and make my opponent need an extra counter spell. But I certainly don't know that this is right. I'm pretty sure picking up the Vendilion Click was wrong. Pretty directly and in a very straightforward way, knowing that my opponent had Flusterstorm to fight over a force battle on the Vendilion Click. This is definitely fine. So now I have to decide if casting Counterbalance is productive. The advantage is it puts a counterbalance in play, and I still have the ability to force. The disadvantage is it taps 2 mana, which makes it harder for me to pay for Flusterstorm. Counterbalance can counter one of the Flusterstorms, but not the trigger. But my opponent also might feel the need to fight over it. I think that's enough value to make it worth casting. Sudden shock to deal with the Containment Priest. That's weird. Why do we care about the Containment Priest when I have a Caracas? I guess because it's going to attack for lethal. So this is just to buy time. I'm happy with my opponent trying to buy time here. I guess I activate this. This is not good. And I know my opponent has Omniscience, so I force this. Then my opponent probably forces back and kills me. Nope. That's definitely a good card to draw. It's a good card to cast in my opponent's end step. No, it's not worth getting my top out of play. So we'll just counter that. No reason to reveal. Now I have a lethal threat in play. Get a Tundra. Look. My opponent's forced to try to do something here. So, while I might ordinarily not want to turn off my counterbalance rather than threatening it, I need to counter the Ponder because I can't actually use top to stop a show and tell, so I just need to try to make sure that my opponent can't do anything that would kill me. And that means stopping the ponder. This seems good for me. This is casting a dig. Dig is fine. Dig doesn't kill me, I think. Alright, that is cube. It doesn't save my opponent. Alright, that's the match.